Well, good evening. And while the holiday season may be the most wonderful time of the year, that's not the case for everyone. The season can present additional stress and depression, especially in the age of COVID-19. Now, a Stanford doctor with ties to the Lowcountry is treating some of the most severe cases of depression with a new kind of stimulation. Our Natalie Spalla spoke with him and shares what this could mean for the future of depression treatment.
It's been described as a game changer, a light in the lives of several of Dr. Nolan Williams' patients.
People have said this kind of changed the trajectory of where their life was headed.
From pills to therapies, treatment for depression can at times be an uphill battle, especially for those who have struggled for years without sufficient improvement.
We had one patient who was flipping a coin between ending her life and doing the trial. She didn't tell us that until after she did the trial and did quite well.
A trial that would prove to be life-changing. SAINT, short for Stanford Accelerated Intelligent Neuromodulation Therapy.
And so this is kind of a process of learning. The learning, in this case, is stimulating a part of the brain to turn on and stay on.
An approach crafted specifically for each patient.
We get a brain MRI beforehand, and then we use their brain connectivity to determine where to stimulate.
SAINT builds on existing therapies for depression called transcranial magnetic stimulation, treatment led by MUSC Dr. Mark George, which received FDA approval in 2008. So what makes SAINT different?
Intense, rapid, personalized. Figured out a way to compress a whole 6-week course of stimulation into a day, and then we give 5 times that.
Experts say the results are nothing short of incredible. Dr. Williams has seen it firsthand.
It's really rewarding, right? Like you see this kind of shift in people where they realize, like, all of a sudden, I'm not thinking about that stuff. That's not part of what I'm worried about or what's affecting me, and I'm really headed in a different direction, which is pretty cool.
The FDA has granted SAINT breakthrough status, expediting the process for approval, a timeline Williams says could take anywhere from 6 months to a few years.
Violence among students in schools is a problem that we've been tracking now for months. The jump in local incidents from last year to this year, significant. Our Eli Brand is finding out why the trend is happening. He joins us now from the newsroom with more. Eli?
Well, Tessa, those numbers can be eye-popping at a glance. Those new numbers we acquired show there have been nearly 200 fights in Dorchester District 2 just so far this year alone. And at Berkeley High School in Berkeley County, fights are already double what they were last year. Still, a child psychologist I spoke with today says it's not quite time to sound any alarms. For the numbers, there have been 177 fights in Dorchester District 2 this year compared to only 9 incidents of attack a year ago, according to SC Report Card. In Berkeley County, we don't have the complete district numbers, but Berkeley High alone saw a jump from 18 fights a year ago to already 46 this year. MUSC professor and psychologist Rochelle Hansen says a combination of COVID lockdowns and an increase in adult aggression are contributing factors to the increase.
To do as adults is to do a little bit better job of not continuing to air our grievances and anger and frustration so that kids see that. So, everything's been politicized, and that creates a lot of divides across people. Kind of need to do a better job of not just showing all of that to our kids.
At the same time, Hansen believes now is not the time to hit the panic button.
I don't want us to get so terrify everyone and say, oh my gosh, violence is so bad out there and there's nothing we could do.
She says the numbers we're seeing are closer to what we saw before the pandemic. She says that means the increase from last year is a bit overblown, especially since many schools were not in person. She says the best solution for parents now is to work to identify warning signs of depression and aggression in kids and find them help.
For example, I see tremendous benefits for a child who's depressed or angry and aggressive when they get good professional therapy and psychological services. That's part of a good violence prevention plan in schools, is to recognize kids who need those services and then link the kids to services that are appropriate and effective. And yes, when they get those, we do know they work.
As for the school districts themselves, they say they're working to combat this increase by following their punishment protocols. Now, coming up tomorrow, we will speak with school district officials on what they are specifically doing to help turn around these numbers and how far they're willing to go if the trend continues.
Have you ever tried to sell something online only to have someone ask you right away for your phone number? Have you ever wondered why? Well, our Amy Russo has the answer, plus why you shouldn't reply.
In a day and age where everything is virtual, Carlos Corderos decided he'd try to make a quick buck selling furniture on Facebook Marketplace.
We listed two separate items for sale. We had a chair, and then we had a chair with an ottoman.
What could have been $35 in his wallet nearly cleared out his bank account.
They wanted my phone number so I can so they can send a code so we can verify so they can verify through the code, and they were very persistent.
Lucky for Carlos, this isn't his first time dealing with a scammer on Marketplace, and that persistence was the red flag. He says since this happens nearly every time he makes a Marketplace post, he knew not to give them what they wanted.
We call it smishing, SMS phishing, where they will send you a link that they want you to click on.
That's Jamie Mellis. He's a cybersecurity expert.
No one on Marketplace should be asking you for a two-factor authentication unless they're trying to get into your account.
Mellis says if they're asking for that, they've probably already got your username and password. It just takes that last step for the scammers to take over.
Folks are coming in saying that they've had issues with people taking over their phones.
Mellis encourages you to do your homework before you enter in your bank information.
If there's a deal that just looks too good to be true, especially somebody out of town, just know who you're working with.
Reporting, I'm Amy Rousseau.
And if you are shopping online, before you click Pay Now, make sure you do your research to ensure you're buying from a safe website. Avoid suspicious links and use safe payment options.